All right, welcome to the alternate house chair edition of On the Couch.
With chairs.
Yeah,
instead of couch.
on the chair edition. So I'm going to keep calling this On the Couch still. We just saw The A-Team on DVD, of course, because it's not in theaters anymore. Although, you know what, this would be a good movie to see in theaters.
It was, actually.
It really is a spectacle action movie. I mean, there's no, like, hugely clever action sequences, but they're big and exciting and flashy. They even made fireworks part of the climactic plan.
Yep.
Like literal Chinese fireworks were part of their plan.
Roman candles!
And had a reason to be there. So, but yeah, so Jay here is a fan of the A-Team show. I feel like
watching the A-Team. The A-Team is one of the very few cartoon shows I grew up watching with.
That wasn't a cartoon.
Yeah, let me rephrase that. The non-cartoon shows.
Okay, yeah, okay. I was going to say, I mean, I think a cartoon Mr. T has potential, but it wasn't a thing.
Mr. T had a cartoon show. I think he did. No, wait, that was live action.
He may have cameoed on the Scooby-Doo show at some point.
No, it was Johnny Bravo, but he did have a TV show at one point.
Yeah, he definitely had... No, I think you're thinking Scooby-Doo showed up on the Johnny Bravo show. Anyway, so...
Scooby-Doo crossed over with Johnny Bravo, and Mr. T did have a cameo in another Johnny Bravo episode as Mr. T.
Well, yeah. So, you were a fan of the show. I never saw it, but based on what I've heard about it and from the parodies I've seen of it, it seems like the kind of enjoyably over-the-top thing that would be kind of fun to watch. Right up there with MacGyver, in terms of just, yeah, this is ridiculous action fantasy fulfillment.
Or Red, Bruce Willis and Morgan Freeman.
Oh, yeah, that was a hell of a good movie. But MacGyver wasn't a movie. I was talking about TV shows. So, yeah, the A-Team movie, pretty well cast, I'd say. From what I've seen of the archetypes, they had to make some changes to Mr. T because I feel really bad for the guy who had to play Mr. T. Because Mr. T is still a thing, okay? He's still a caricature that exists within our cultural mindset, and the actor playing him is not dead. Tough shoes to fill.
That, and I don't know.
I forgot my
Even though his role was... He did the role well.
B.A. Baracus.
Quentin Rampage Johnson, he's not an actor. He's a fighter. Now, given the list of actors who could have performed that role is
large black men.
Extremely short.
Large black men in Hollywood, not a big thing. And they couldn't have gotten the Old Spice guy. He's got the wrong build. Actually, the Old Spice guy was on the radio today on like a game show, and he was hilarious.
Yep.
Yes, I'm one of those unstoppable freaks who listens to
Mr.
NPR.
T, while he didn't openly protest against the movie, he did say he did not approve of it because Mr. T is a family-friendly person.
And this
he
was
likes shows that are appropriate for kids.
Actually,
and all
was
that,
this PG-13 or R?
I don't remember.
Do you want me to go? You threw.
that.
Keep talking.
So, Mr. T actually came out in an interview when the movie was still being made and said that it wasn't when guns were fired back on the show, they were never actually, nobody was ever actually shot. Here, you actually have, in this movie, people are being shot, people are being killed, blown up.
Yeah, PG-13, but we saw the extended unrated version, which...
Because the theatrical version sucked.
And unlike, say, all the American Pie movies, and the unrated version does not include more tits and violence, it just includes scenes that the editor thought probably had no business being in the movie. And was probably right. Like, there were a couple scenes where I was like, that really had no business being there, and was probably cut from the theatrical version. Just stop that! We might need that.
I'm gonna send it right through the legs of the tripod.
You will not send it right through the legs of the tripod. That's not going to work. It's a triangle. How are you going to slip that through?
Because I'm amazing?
They start out as a sort of a cobbled together band of rangers.
It starts out with really only Hannibal and Face knowing each other. And
we're introduced to Face when he's trapped in a collection of tires with a noose around his neck being covered in gasoline because he slept with a Generalissimo's wife.
Yeah.
Hell of an introduction!
As it turns out, B.A. is actually a car thief or booster, whatever, something with
We're not really sure what he was doing, but he's not currently in the military.
He was not. But
he was not currently in the military, and he was doing illegal things with his new car.
But, okay, so basically
Which then gets hijacked by Liam Neeson.
Yeah.
Liam Neeson was probably the best person they could have gotten to play Hannibal?
Smith.
Hannibal?
Smith.
They really went with Hannibal. Sorry, having seen the Silence of the Lamb movies, I just can't think of any other use for that name.
Oh, actually, I wonder what came out first, the A-Team or Silence of the Lambs?
A-Team.
Which was like back in like the early 70s.
Yeah, I mean, maybe not the book The Silence of the Lambs was based on, but definitely any of the movie incarnations of Hannibal.
Colonel Hannibal Smith. I think he was Lieutenant Colonel. Actually, he might have just been Colonel.
Colonel. It was Colonel.
Yeah, I mean, I don't remember if he was Lieutenant
Wait, is Lieutenant Colonel a rank?
Yes.
Why would you combine Lieutenant, which is below Colonel, with Colonel?
Because reasons.
Alright, fine.
Learn about the armed forces.
I'd rather not. So, speaking of which, yeah, within the first 5 minutes of the movie, I'm asking him, is this a Michael Bay movie? Because so far, we've had racism and militarism. We've had both. Because the opening bit with the Mexicans, I wouldn't call it overtly racist, but it relies heavily on tropes. Really heavily on tropes.
Yep.
But, so yeah, we move on from that to them being a unit. They get called in for some shady thing. When Face's old girlfriend, I thought she was in the CIA, but apparently she was in the DOD.
Yep.
And a CIA guy show up on the same day, both looking for some stolen printing plates for money, $100 plates. And apparently someone in Baghdad's got the plates and has also constructed themselves a printing press. So essentially, the plot of Rush Hour 2. It immediately stuck out to me that is exactly the same evil scheme as Rush Hour 2 without the casino.
And just like in Rush Hour 2, you don't find out until towards the end of the movie, though, the bad guys who were partners turned on each other.
Woo!
Because money.
Money changes people, yes. There was much backstabbing, and
this would be like the perfect time to have like just a bunch of singles just throw them into the air.
But there are hundreds, so you have to adjust your expectations of singles. Because, seriously, who counterfeits single dollars? The amount of money needed to make a dollar bill is more than a dollar bill.
Because people would never check for a dollar bill to be counterfeit.
That was why there was this guy I heard about. He figured out how to copyright... no, not copy. What's the word?
Counterfeit?
Counterfeit. God damn it. I am tripping. He figured out how to counterfeit...
Did you get into my medicine cabinet again?
No. He figured out how to counterfeit with a color printer and an oven $100 bills. Like, he found a way using hairspray to fool that little ink thing they do. So, and I was like, it wasn't a very good copy because it was a counterfeit because it was made with a laser printer. But, because it passed the little ink test, most of the cashiers wouldn't call it. And he was working on making $20 counterfeits. And that would be terrible because no one checks $20 for counterfeit. Everyone checks $100. If you go to a gas station, try and buy anything with a $100 bill, they're going to examine the shit out of that bill. They're like, no one pays anything with these.
They'll do that little smear test on a piece of paper.
Yeah. So, yeah, the holy grail of counterfeiting is actually to counterfeit 20s, because no one checks, and no one remembers the person who bought something with a $20 bill.
I swear to God, if we put this up on the internet and then someone comes busting down my door looking for us, I'm going to murder you.
It was broadcast on TV. It's not just me. Okay, so yeah, they get sent into Baghdad with a pretty cool action sequence, but it was quick. It was mostly cool because they got rid of a whole bunch of cars, and oh god, this movie. What is it? They specialize in the impossible. Is the catchline?
They specialize in the ridiculous
and the impossible, because I gotta say, the plan that involved attaching a whole bunch of airbags to the side of a container, like a cargo container, dropping it in the water, and then having the airbags deploy.
You can have all the airbags in the world. It's not enough.
No, not gonna work.
Especially, cash is heavy in bulk.
Yeah, and they
add that on top. Inside the container, add the weight of the container by itself.
Not just that, I'm pretty sure airbags are designed to de-inflate shortly after deploying, like by design, so that you're not like this inside the car after an accident. Because that would be massively inconvenient. What we need is that protection foam from Demolition Man. That's what we need. That's what car makers need to work on.
I was worried. I'd been nailing myself to the container right now.
Oh yeah, in the opening sequence, they do some helicopter stunts, and that's why Baracus is afraid of flying.
Because Murdoch is batshit crazy.
According to you, he was more insane in the show, and I just find that
He
hard.
was.
I find that hard to believe because this is a movie made in the 2000s.
Yeah, when was this made? I don't remember.
And the TV show was made, as you said, in the 70s, and there was just a big line between what you could have someone do on a show.
This, yeah, 2010.
Yeah, alright. The aughts. It was made in the aughts. No, wait. Yeah, the tens would be. It would be the tens decade. It was made in the tens decade, which is what we're currently in, and it feels so weird to say that because next we're gonna be in the 20s, and every time someone's gonna say the 20s, I'm gonna think of
World War I.
F. Scott Fitzgerald. I'm gonna think of F. Scott. World War I was the tens. 1914 to 1918. It was only 4 years. Which is kind of short for the Great War, as it was known.
Wasn't the Great War supposed to be World War II, though?
That was after World War I got supplanted by World War II, which was in many ways, in some ways World War I was just the warm-up act. So.
Well, that's because Hitler turned into a bitch after World War I.
He was in World War I, wasn't he?
How the hell did we get this sidetracked?
We were talking about military. So,
and then I mentioned 2010.
We got sidetracked. So they get all thrown. The military council was very specific about this. Thrown in different prisons. We do not want all these men in one building together. Will not work.
And yeah, it still didn't work in separate prisons.
Yeah, no, it didn't.
Okay, my favorite part of the movie, personally, when Hannibal escapes from his prison by
pretending to die,
faking a heart attack with 5 cc's of
tetrodotoxin, some kind of. It's the fake death poison.
While he's in the cremation machine,
the incinerator, some fat nerd is dancing around to music. I kind of like that guy.
Yeah. So he wakes up just as the incinerators turn on, kicks them away from him. Waits, but somehow, even in that short of a time, I still think that amount of intense heat should have left him so weak he couldn't move. I don't care how hard
it should have left scars, at least. Like, kicking away the flames, it's like, just even this, the little guard on the lighter gets hot within, like, half of a second to the point that I don't want to touch it. Yeah. So, yeah, he probably wouldn't be allowed to just smack the cremate flamethrowers out of the way without searing his hands.
Anyway,
they all get out.
He gets out of the cremation machine right as the
attendant is like
walking over to him, and Hannibal's standing there, covered in soot, and
So I heard this great joke about when the devil walks into the bar.
Satan walks into this bar.
Boom. The attendant is down, and then they all escape. Barack has probably had the best escape because they
harpooned the emergency exit of the back of the bus. He grabs it and rides it like a sled out.
And then later they're talking about, like, how did you know that would work? Well, I figured it would hold his weight. I mean, we did that one time before. Yeah, but we did that with a midget. I was like, so your test case for this was a midget instead of the big black guy.
I liked Face's prison the best. He was practically running the place.
Face apparently would be an excellent mafioso boss because the moment he's in prison, he's got all sorts of special favors and I did kind of have a problem with the fact that he was having sex with one of the guards. Because it's a military prison, and I'm just like, that level of unprofessionalism.
But it's
yeah, I know. It's fantasy fulfillment, and he's the womanizer of the group.
Oh God, was he?
Oh,
and they got Bradley Cooper to play him. That's the best part.
I don't really know who he is. I mean, I recognized him. I've seen him.
Okay, go get my laptop.
No.
I'm showing you who Bradley Cooper is.
No. Okay, so there was, let's see, who are the key members of the plot? There was the CIA Lynch.
Yeah, there's Lynch.
Here's your cell phone, too. There was the General Morris, and then there was Pike, who was one of the, now that I think about it, this movie really didn't like the U.S. government at all.
Oh, God, no.
Like, that's why it really did feel like a Michael Bay film, because Michael Bay really has no respect for the U.S. government, but he really likes the soldiers. He glorifies the soldiers who put their lives on the line. And, okay, yeah, there's some truth to that. But yeah, so the General Morris is in on it. Pike from Black Flag, one of the
Black Forest Company.
one of the mercenary groups.
Not mercenaries, but pretty damn close. They're
essentially. And Lynch from the CIA. And honestly, I felt like no matter how high up in the CIA he was, he should have probably had a bit more oversight than he did. I mean, he was essentially armchair generaling out of his New York corner penthouse, which was ridiculous.
Yep.
So in an action scene that was pretty bland, they get the plates plates back. Only noteworthy because, yeah, Baracus apparently found Gandhi. He didn't find religion, he found Gandhi while in prison. And has decided he's not going to kill anybody or fight them. Oh, he never says the line, "Pity the fool," because they tattooed it on his fists. And because...
Pity and fool.
Yeah, and because you can't... You either have to be making fun of Mr. T or be Mr. T to say that. You can't say it seriously without looking like a jackass if you're not Mr. T.
Even though...
What are you looking up again?
The cast list. So I could find out who played who.
IMDb, the guy. Yeah, I remember. So they get the plates back. And then, of course, the problem is that they have to no longer be fugitives. They were disavowed by the U.S. government because things went wrong with the original requisition of the plates.
Pretty sure you're misusing that term.
Disavowed or requisition?
Disavowed.
Probably using disavowed wrong, but requisition I was using correctly. So, ha! My vocab skills.
Yeah, disavow is deny any responsibility or support of. So you're misusing it.
It's pretty close to what they did, though. But anyway...
They disavowed what they did.
Okay, yeah, so...
Because technically they weren't supposed to be doing it
so
to begin with.
the main thing they're trying... Oh, and there's this girl who was really thrown in to be the token chick. Although, to be fair, she was kind of important to the plot.
She was good looking, though.
I know that actress. I know...
Jessica Biel.
Yeah, I know her.
What is she from?
I
32.
Alright, well, you better look that up, okay? But, because I know I've seen something else that she was in.
She was in Blade Trinity. She was in the Texas Chainsaw Massacre.
Something a little more recent.
Rules of Attraction. Illusionist.
Let's see. Okay,
I pronounced you Chuck and Larry. She was the lawyer lady.
I remember.
That's where I know
I remember
her
the Illusionist. Total Recall. That was it. She was in the remake of Total Recall. Boy, was that a terrible, terrible movie. Whew. That's why I remembered her. So she works for the DOD, and she's of course trying to track them down because she was also supposed to get the plates, and she got demoted when they originally disappeared. So they get the plates, and they grab one of the Arabs, who turns out to be General Morris, who also was the one who gave them the orders to get the plates in the first place, and is the reason they were thrown in jail. So now they're like, okay, now we've got General Morris, so now we can clear our names, because we can threaten him into clearing
our names. Fun fact, Jessica Biel is married to Justin Timberlake.
You know, I remember, actually, Mila Kunis and Ashton Kutcher were dating and got married at some point, but I remember it because they were both in movies about having friends with benefits relationships.
Pretty sure that was the actual name of the movie.
Yeah, Friends with Benefits, and the other one had Ashton Kutcher in it. And I just thought it was so strange that two people who, like, celebrity couples recently started dating would be featured in different Friends with Benefits movies. You'd think the studios would try and get them on the same one, since they probably have actual chemistry then. Yeah. Anyway, I got sidetracked there completely. You gotta hold me back, man. You gotta hold me back.
Where's the fun in that?
So, let's see. They grabbed the General Morris, but then Lynch... Oh, God, did this scene piss me off. This scene really pissed me off. See, Lynch uses, I want to say a heli, but it was a gunship. It was a gunship to fly over wherever he tracked them to, and it was never really explained how he knew where they were, but he did. There's a lot of things that essentially get hand-waved, like, he probably put a tracking device on the plates or something. You know, they just get hand-waved.
Your biggest issue with the hand wave was the tape recorder.
Oh, God, yeah. Okay, so, yeah, at one point...
Actually, didn't I? I had to pause the movie to let you rant for
Hannibal was talking on a phone, and then he stops talking on the phone, and he clicks one of those handheld dictaphone tape recorders, which I have, and the clear... it's supposed to imply that he recorded this conversation and will use the voice for something. And I was like, no. That is not how they work.
We both tried that. It doesn't work.
I haven't tried it. I've just used them. They don't work that way.
Well, I have tried it.
They were pretty handy in college, actually. I could turn them on during a lecture and just not pay attention. And then just listen back to it later.
And yet you graduated.
Barely, man. Oh, boy.
Oh, maybe that's why.
Well, no, that wasn't why.
And you were too.
There was one particular class that I had to pass, and I almost didn't. One of those graduation requirements class. Most of my grades were actually pretty good. We skipped the scene with the tank. It's in the trailer.
The best scene of the entire movie.
It's in the trailer. They fly a tank by using the cannon. It's completely over the top and ridiculous. And if you've
completely impossible, but damn
and if you've seen the trailer, you've seen that scene. I mean, that's pretty much sums it up. In fact, I'd say that the trailer scene was a little bit better cut because it was snappier. But okay, so yeah, Lynch attacks them with a gunship. And he blows them up, and he's in like a car somewhere far away looking on a laptop screen, and he says, oh man, that's just like Call of Duty. And this is actually when, not the tape recorder, this is when you had to stop the movie. Because, oh my god, no. Call of Duty is guilty of many things, but one thing it is definitely guilty of, unarguably, is the cheapening of human life.
Yeah.
It really, because they try and be realistic, and then have you mow down enough people to be qualified as a war crime. Personally. And one of their famous scenes is the bit where you fly a gunship, see tiny little moving dots, which are people, and then blow them out of the sky. And they're not firing back. This is one of those, like, on rails, completely above the enemy gunship moments, and oh god, those really say bad things about people who just, like, I mean, if you just stop and think about it, you've just I mean, in Call of Duty Ghosts, you get a space missile launcher, and you wipe out South America. And the game is just like,
awesome!
You win! And I'm just like, no, you just killed millions, possibly billions of people. You do not win! So yeah, that bothered me. As you can tell.
Well, then again, you don't do well with shooters.
I'm not a huge fan. Team Fortress 2 is great, but Team Fortress 2 is cartoony as all hell.
Yeah.
This is Sasha.
We like Sasha.
Yes, we do like Sasha and the pyro. Do you believe in magic?
No.
Oh, come on. That was a great video. Although the Spy one was probably the best. Meet the Spy?
I've seen them all.
Oh, you didn't like that one?
Gentlemen.
The Spy! But, so, after they...
and
of course they survived the gunship attack. Over here?
My favorite was the Meet the Demo Man.
Probably because you just love the Demo Man.
No, I like what he was saying. I'm a black Scottish Cyclops. They got more? They got the likes of me. No idea what he was saying.
Morse code. Beep, 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 beep. That would be really funny if someone... Oh, God, that would be the nerdiest thing ever. Going on national TV and cussing in such a specific way that you Morse code message the world. Oh, my God.
And somewhere, somehow...
Someone get on Comedy Central and do that.
Somewhere, somehow, the Morse code he spoke in triggers a sleeper agent.
Yeah, probably, by all accounts. So, Hannibal, after they get blown up by the gunship, and they lose the general in that attack, so there goes their evidence that they didn't steal the planes.
The general that gave them the mission at the beginning of the movie was supposedly murdered. Turns out he's actually one of the bad guys and set
Spoilers! The movie is 4 years old at this point. If you call spoilers on this video, I will track you down through the internet and punch you. Through the internet! I will make it happen.
I will use my secret punch you in the face until you die technique. Which handed down
by Shaolin monks. And
pretty sure they threw kicks in there eventually, though.
Probably. Groin kicks. Okay, punch you in the face until you die, then groin kick. That's the Shaolin way.
Yes.
So, I don't know what I can say about this movie. It's a spectacle action movie. Some of the action scenes were well choreographed. Some of them were not. There was some shaky cam in the beginning, but it calmed down towards the end. Some of it was really CG. Some of it was so gloriously over the top that you're just like, fine, whatever, awesome.
As someone who... It took me a long time before I even considered actually watching this movie because I loved the A-Team. I really did. And to see it portrayed in this way...
New way.
...seemed disgraceful, but I love Liam Neeson. I am a huge Liam Neeson fan.
Oh, they don't need to hear any more about you sucking Liam Neeson's dick after the Lego movie.
It's pretty much one step short of that, but yeah. No, actually, if you want to hear me get on that train, let's start talking about Sean Connery.
Oh, really? Oh, man.
The only James Bond.
Really? I think a couple of the other ones did pretty good. Not Roger Moore.
They don't come
You know what?
close.
It sucks, because Roger Moore was in the most, and some of them were really good James Bond movies written around him.
Roger Moore, Daniel Craig, everybody else, Sean Connery.
You really put Daniel Craig second to the bottom?
They're the only three I know. Shut up.
Okay, fair enough. I would put him in third best. Daniel Craig is third best.
Anyway.
I mean, Daniel Craig doesn't pull off the suave part, but he pulls off the kick your ass part.
My biggest issue with the movie, it's not that it was, more adult-themed action than the show was.
It's still a PG-13 action flick. We barely see any blood.
I mean, but my biggest issue was who they got to play B.A. Baracus. A fighter, not an actor. As someone who also grew up watching wrestling as a child, the WWE, WCW, when it was still a thing, occasionally ECW, and only one night worth of TNA, I know actors who pretend to be fighters and other things. Everybody in all those wrestling business, they are actors before they are anything else.
I've heard it described as male ballet.
No. I mean, they're
Masculine
actors,
ballet?
then they're athletes. Actors, athletes. Quentin Rampage Jackson is actually a UFC fighter.
Yeah. See, he doesn't come from a wrestling background. So.
While I'm sure he's done bits in TV shows or commercials, other things, for him to be in a big role like this, it did not sit well with me. When you had people in the WWE who would have been better at it. Surprisingly, though, when I did finally decide to watch this movie, he did a good job.
No one did a bad job. I mean, at no point would I ever say this is a bad movie. It's a brainless action flick. I'd say if you've got it on DVD and you haven't watched it yet, get on that. Is it on Netflix? I don't think it's on Netflix.
I don't think it is.
I haven't seen it. But if you know what, if you want to see it,
You know what? They need to put the A-Team series on Netflix because I can't find those DVDs anywhere. They don't exist.
Yeah, that's probably true. But, it's a fine brainless action flick. If it's on, feel free to watch it. It's just not something that really requires multiple sittings. I mean, he's seen it before and I haven't. So.
3 times.
3 times? Really? God, I rarely watch movies more than once. Unless they're like The Mask, which I saw to death.
I love that movie.
Oh my god. Okay.
I have that movie.
So, we're going to see another movie tonight. Are you sure you don't want to do 12 Monkeys?
Oh, hold on. Yes. The A-Team is on.
The show.
The series.
The show.
Not the movie.
Netflix. Now you're going to have to split your time between this and Final Fantasy X.
Oh, no. That is the priority.
Final Fantasy X.
If you're wondering, I picked up the HD remaster of Final Fantasy
They're not
X
wondering.
10-2 the day it came out, which is why I don't exist anywhere else. I'm not even on Facebook anymore.
The only reason we're doing this is because we both are now working for a grocery store in the area, and we got.
I've had my job for almost 2 years. You
yes,
just
but
got it a few weeks
I'm
ago.
now currently working, so now we have to try.
You're welcome.
We're trying to sync up. I don't think you helped me too much. I mean, you certainly would have helped if I was working at the same store as you.
I still put in a work.
It's a
week,
little
damn it.
difficult to sync up our schedules now, considering that we now have completely random days off.
That's
in
not me
comparison
trying
each
to
other.
be a glory grabber. I actually put in word for you with my boss.
He was a big help. Give me 5. He was a big help, but Yeah, I should be so ready for that. He was a big help. But, so we're going to watch another movie, and we'll see you all next time. Bye.